Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 nerds by nerds, hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
You have a mystical, magical maniac in your party. What do you do? We're going to start this video by thanking our sponsor, Easy Roller Dice. Whether it's your first set of dice or your 1 millionth set of dice, Easy Roller Dice. And right now they got a Kickstarter going on. Tell us about the Kickstarter, Ted.
All right, so they have leather light self-standing dice bags. It's five by five, square on the bottom, 7 tall, holds over 400 dice.
4 million dice, folks. Just kidding.
Or at least 400 dice, as per the Kickstarter. They've unlocked all the initial designs that they've done, and so now they're rushing to get more stretch goal art done. So they look awesome.
Yeah, Cthulhu bags, people. Cthulhu. Now, we're running a contest in conjunction with Easy Roller Dice. Right now, we're going to give away 5 sets. That's right, 5 of you are going to be able to win a set of gunmetal dice for free. You just have to enter the contest. It's in the description below. And go check out that Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
So, we were looking at a post on Facebook, and we just found it really funny. So, apparently, they have a spell slinger in their group. Sorcerer, wizard, one of those types, right? And they insist on constantly targeting the party with the area effect spells.
Fireballs and lightning bolts are, flying like crazy. And the player at the table seems to delight in turning to the DM and saying, okay, the monster just took blah, blah, blah damage. And then with kind of like a, smirk on their face, they turn to the party and be like, by the way, you took this much damage as well.
Yeah, the one example was the one character grappled with an enemy. And the caster then hits the enemy with a lightning bolt. Now, mind you, why wouldn't you hit that enemy with a lightning bolt? Disadvantage on dex saves.
Absolutely.
For both of them.
Well, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Our good friend, Scott back in the day, says that hit points is a resource. So why not, use that? And, okay, you grapple him, give him the disadvantage, I'll hit him with a lightning bolt. Sounds like a solid plan to me.
I would be all about it with Uthgar. Maybe not so much with maybe some of my other characters. It depends, man. Players have different takes on this stuff. Some players don't care. They're like, oh, you're going to get more this way? Absolutely. Light it up. And other players, they don't quite feel the same about that.
Now, I have to say the most amusing thing about this whole scenario is he's gotten to the point of frustration as a player that he's going to complain to the internet. Yet it has not come up in character-to-character role-playing in-game.
Yeah, out of game, though, the party has expressed their displeasure. This reminds me of the time we were playing a My Game, and I believe Todd, who was a bard, threw up a cloud of daggers, and Nicole was fighting near it. Mm-hmm. And then Ryan's character runs up, who is a sorcerer, and goes, oh, I can get the most amount of enemies if I include Nicole's character. And so he comes up, boom, thunder wave, right? Nicole's character fails her save, gets slammed into the cloud of daggers, and then gets dropped, nearly dies. And she's like, Ryan, I'm going to fucking stab you with this pencil. So just know, yes, hit points are a resource, but if you kill someone else's character at the table, they may get angry with you.
So, the thing to take away from this, number one, hit points are a resource.
And don't sit next to the person who's a character you just thunder waved into a cloud of daggers, because they might stab you. Be at least on the other side of the table.
Hit points are a resource. Tactics are important. And we're playing a game here. Like, ultimately, if there's no long-term damage, you survive the combat, you're able to heal those hit points back, it's a win-win. You could also take it in another way and let's role play this out. Like, every time that character goes to cast a spell, I twitch. Like, I'm ready. Can I get advantage on my dex saves versus this guy? Because I think he's going to lightning bolt me all the time.
The next time you get a stat adjustment, you take a feat instead, and you take Mage Slayer just because of this player.
So, like, you could go in a lot of different directions with it. It's fun. It's amusing. We're playing a game here. Ultimately, you need to have a conversation. You can do it both in-game. You can do it out-of-game. Whatever is going to produce a result. If everyone at the table is not happy with this kind of player, and you can't come to terms, well then, maybe not play with that kind of player anymore. Like, you want to surround your table with people that have a similar play style so that everybody is having fun. If you're gonna walk away from the game like, grumble, 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 I don't like that player anymore, like that's a detriment to your gaming experience. And like, oh, you might have a fuss of, oh man, I had crappy dice rolling, last night. Well, that's not anyone's fault. That's just the odds. But when a specific player is causing an issue at the table, regardless of what it is, like that needs conversation, that needs confrontation, and you need to resolve this because like this is a hobby, this is a game, this is supposed to be fun, and if someone is taking away from your fun, talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is we have fun together as a group, not at each other's expense. There's some groups I've been to that, again, this would be a huge problem, and other groups who think it's hilarious and would be like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, fireball the shit out of me. let's make these baddies pay."
So it comes down to those points. Do what is going to be fun. Have conversations when it stops being fun. But every once in a while, yeah, you need to fireball the party.
And also, in game, if you want to role play it out, it would be totally justified for Tordak the Dwarf to be like, dude, you just hit me with a fireball. Freaking again. Going to break your fingers. Yeah. If you're constantly getting electrocuted, frozen, set on fire by your party member, yeah, I could see maybe getting a little bit angry about that.
Yeah, like if you're gonna take that to like the role play to the character level, it's like, okay, you defeat the enemy, and everybody starts dusting themselves off. You come over. With my free interaction with an object, I'm gonna put the my beard out, and I walk over and I punch the wizard in the face. Here's my attack roll. I did 4 points of damage. Nothing in comparison to the 25 fire I just took because I was on the ground and failed my dex saving throw.
Or I'm a monk and I just hit him with quivering palm. You're going to die 3 days from now.
I don't think they're that high a level. But you could do that. And if the character's like, hey man, what was that attack for? It's like, well, you just lit me on fire. Like, you could prompt that conversation and allow the players to see that, like, there's give and take and what have you.
Or maybe, during the next fight, pick up the wizard and start beating the enemy with them. Just felt it would be more effective, man. Usually set things on fire. I figured if you were holding me, I wouldn't be one of them. Nothing is better than a fastball special with the sorcerer in the party.
I've used opponents as weapons before, but never party members.
Well, it might be something new to stretch your horizons and move another direction to move into.
It's just a lot harder to pick up a medium-sized character.
I know, that's why you have to be like a Goliath or something, so you can really pick stuff up.
Smash!
So the question, guys, is this a problem that comes up in your game? How do you deal with it? Maybe you think it's funny as shit and you love it when it happens. We got a place where we can talk about that. And that's down in the comments below. While you're at it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
While you're down there, don't forget to check the links in the description below, especially that Gleam contest, and win some free dice.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.